In this presentation, we are going to talk about drug and substance abuse in Great Britain.
The content in this presentation includes Great Britain's drug problem, what are the most common reasons to take drugs, Great Britain's drug and substance abuse today, and at last we got to conclusion.
Our research question is, are Great Britain's drug and substance problems getting worse? Great Britain's drug problem throughout the years. Throughout the years, you can see that Great Britain's drug problems has decreased, then increased. If you look at the statistics, this purple line shows that the drug problem was at its worst in 1998 and 2004 to 2005. Later, the drug problem has decreased, but in 2009, then it has increased again. It has stabilized. In fact, 1 of 12 have taken drugs between the age 16 to 59. That's about 2.7 million people, and that's a lot. This is last in 2005. It's about 10.5% less. Teenagers between 16 to 24 years old are the ones suffering the most when it comes to drug use. In fact, from 1998, they have improved a lot. But why do they have so much drug use? And why are the teenagers abusing drugs and substance?
So I'm going to talk about the most common reasons for turning to drug and substance abuse in general. So people who turn to drug and substance abuse often already have problems in their life. By saying this, I mean that they already are troubled. By suffering from anxiety, bipolar disorder, or other mental illness can lead people to use drugs and alcohol to ease them. People who have family members, friends, role models who are drug and substance abusers will often end up rationalizing that I can't do. As teenagers and young adults, it is very easy to be affected by the people surrounding them and the society. Curiosity is one of the most common reasons to use drugs and substance. The fact that Britain is filled with drug and substance abusers can lead to people, especially young people, thinking about what it would be like to use drugs and substance. People who think that drugs and alcohol relieve stress also will turn to drug and substance abuse. Although many things in life are now easier than ever, the burdens are also very high. The last thing I'm going to mention about turning to drug and substance abuse is group pressure. Many people have a group of friends who are drug and alcohol abusers. It's very easy to feel the pressure to be just like them, to fit in. So these are just a few of the very many reasons to turn to drug and substance abuse. As you probably have noticed, all of these reasons I mentioned are connected to people's emotions. So drug use is often thought of as a way to escape the mundane world and enter an altered reality.
Great Britain's drug and substance abuse today. In the last 10 years since 2005, the drug problems have decreased. In fact, the teenagers are the ones who are suffering from drug and alcohol abuse. Class A drugs are increased. These kinds of drugs attract the most severe penalty as they are considered to be most likely cause serious harm to the misers. This is not good, but in total it has decreased. Many have taken a lot of different drugs, and it's different between the teenagers and the adults, and which ones who have been taking the most. Cannabis are the most commonly used drug, with 2.9 million people have used it in the last year, and the age is between 16 to 59. 15.8% of the teenagers are taking cannabis. That is 975,000 young adults. This is similar in the two age groups that this is most used. The use of cannabis has always been high. The use of powder cocaine has increased a lot the last years. The adults 16 to 59 is this the second most used drug, but the teenagers are this on third place. The adults do 725,000 people. The teenagers have 4.4% of them taking powder cocaine and 2.2% of the adults. The teenagers number is on 274,000 young adults, but the use has decreased the last years. Ecstasy is the most second common drug for the teenagers. Of the teenagers, 4.9% are they using ecstasy. It has gone a lot up until last year, then it has decreased. The adults have about 1.5%, that's not a lot. It's just about 492,000. The graph to the age group 16 to 59 years have not gone up or down so much. It's not good to say why it has gone up or down, but one thing we can say is that the use of internet, series and movies have an influence on this, because they take a bigger part of people's life, and it's easier to buy drugs on internet.
Okay, so why is there so much drug and substance abuse in Great Britain? Are there any connections? So, first we got society, which includes the media. You have, for instance, celebrities who do drugs. And there are many people who look up to celebrities, so they'll think that, hey, they do drugs and they're cool, so if I do drugs, I'll be cool too, just like them. So how society has impact has a lot to do with everyday surroundings too. So if you see something every day, you get the feeling that it is normal, everyone does it, so why should I not try? And then they often get addicted. So people who do drugs are often affected by society. And society, again, could be affected by the fact that Britain has had problems with drugs and substance addictions ever since, well, always. For instance, since the Industrial Revolution, even before that. So this may be hard to believe, but in early and mid-Victorian Britain, it was possible to just walk into a chemist shop and buy all kinds of drugs. No prescriptions needed. And this is, of course, illegal today, but this includes drugs like laudanum, cocaine, and even arsenic. So in this time, being a drug and alcohol addict wasn't even considered as an addiction, but more of a habit. So of course, later the doctors and scientists discovered that the drugs were harmful. They warned people about the danger of taking them. But addiction is hard to get rid of, and since it has been something people have been doing for a long time, it is still not gone. Very many people who are addicted to the feeling are still addicted today. Well, it is still the reason people are addicted today. So the society has changed, but something always remains. And in this case, it's the drug problem. Another connection is the government. So in tackling illegal drug use and its associated problems, the government in Great Britain are using the drug strategy 2010 to reducing demand, which means preventing future drug abusers by, for instance, providing good quality drug education, and restricting supply by prohibiting illegal drug use and obviously drug dealing. So also building a recovery, which means supporting people to live a drug-free life. This includes, for instance, treatment. So this strategy is of course not only used in Great Britain, it was also used everywhere else where they have drug problems. And according to Russell Brand, who is a music idol to very many people, he was actually caught using drugs several times. He blamed the government for not doing enough with this problem. He said that they should have used more money on treatments for people who have drug problems, and drug problems are actually connected to emotions. But just like everywhere else, the government is trying to fix this problem, but it does not mean they always succeed. In Britain's case, it looks like they are still trying. So another connection to the government is the law. So if you're going to possess drugs like amphetamine, you have to have prescriptions for a doctor, but having drugs be illegal in the laws can actually make the drug dealers smarter. So the drug dealers will somehow always find a loophole in the law or simply just be more careful in public. Not only will drug dealers be smarter, but so will the drug abusers. According to sources around the internet, there are actually manuals on how to be more careful with drugs so that you don't get caught taking them. So these are only a few of the very many things that could have an impact on Britain's drug problems. So the sad thing is, people who possess drugs and alcohol often end up dead because of overdose. In this case, the drug dealers win and the victims lose. The dealers get the money, so why should they care if the victims get addicted and end up dead? They kind of knew what they got themselves into, I think. So Britain's drug problems only leads to bad reputation for the whole nation. According to examinations, people who have been to Britain don't like that there are drunk and high people on the streets at night. and so will other nations think and countries think. So the conclusion to our research question is,
because of Great Britain's history and the society, it is hard to get rid of the drug and substance problem. But according to the statistics, it has stabilized.